What's happening, people? Hope you can hear me properly. Welcome back to another stream. Hope you like the new thumbnail. I will be updating all this sort of stuff over the next coming weeks. New intros, new outros, new every toes, pause, new layouts. Do you know what I'm saying? All that sort of stuff will be updated as we go on. That's all because you lot hitting the like button, man. Subscribing. Simple as that. So make sure today you subscribe to the channel Lele. It's not hard. 50% of you aren't subbed. So 50% of you are taking while that's called economics free riders. You're taking the service, but you're not contributing anything towards the service, which is what you call a free rider. Don't be a freeloader. Don't be that guy. Don't be like Chelsea and Frugal. That's a joke. Behind the scenes, we're talking about it. But yeah, love for love, everyone. You hit the like button as well. We'll get more people in this live, which is really good. Unfortunately, there's no here we go yet. There's no here we goes. We're here to talk about the latest news and give our opinions. With me today, I've got the main critic himself, the most cynical guy in our fan base ever, by the way, and that's a fact. Den, talk to me.
Yo, man, just here, not really pining on the window yet, because to be honest with you, the window ain't even open. Like, this is just like some sort of like bullshit to try and like drive up numbers before the Club World Cup. But, it's not that deep. Come the 16th, 17th, 18th, then we start looking at the transfer window. But I'm not trying to like rush to get things done just for the Club World Cup.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's true. No, it's true. It's true. What more can you say on that? Like, people are going over the top. I understand it because we're desperate. Feel all the love in the chat. I see that already. I think we get Maignan. Here we go by 7 p.m. That's a shout, by the way. Someone else who agrees with that is Abs. What are you telling me, Abs? I hope you're good, bro. We've had a consistent run with Abs. Past week, we've been talking a lot, which is really good, man. Because I used to do stuff on my own. So it's good to have someone.
You know what it is? It's one of them ones where basically, you know me, I don't do this YouTube thing, for anything crazy. I just do it for fun. I'll help the man them out in it. So, anyway, big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to Ches, then as well. Big up to both of you. And so, as far as I'm concerned, I'll be honest, I've been a bit with this transfer window thing. You see, when the season ends, Ches, my head kind of disconnects from ball like that, and I just, focus on a load of other things. Obviously, for those who are tennis fans, there was the Roland Garros or the French Open yesterday, just for example, or there's even the NBA Finals, which, Pacers in 6, by the way, for the NBA fans. So for me, in general, I'm just I'm chill, man. So I'm not really losing my show, whatever. There's nothing to really go crazy over, because I understand from most of the reports that Chelsea want to have a settled squad in terms of incomings by the start of July, which makes sense because, listen, this is not Football Manager or FIFA career mode. You're not going to be able to get all your signings in and all your outgoings out by the start of July. You can, however, get the vast majority of your incomings by the start of July. That's what I think you can do, and I don't think it's unreasonable to expect your club to do that.
I question that, just because
I'm not saying it's.
I think sometimes the outgoings have to mirror the incomings, right? Because you don't want to be stuck with a squad that's bloated, and then you're selling players off for less than their market value just to get the squad down to the size.
No, I agree. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
you have to be like similar, right?
No, they do, but what I mean by this is, okay, so when I say the incomings, I'm talking about the main guys. So for example, how every team will try and get. On average, most teams will make around 5 to 6 signings, 5 signings in the summer, innit? Whether they're key players or just in the squad, or sometimes academy players, most of the time we make 5-ish signings. What I mean by that is, when I say the main incomings, I'm talking about the 2-3 guys who won't really affect the squad size like that, but are crucial for where you want to go as a club next year, innit? That's what I'm saying, innit? Those are the signings which I would expect to get done by the start of July. But I don't expect all our business to get done. However, in an ideal world, I wouldn't mind having all our incomings done by the start of July, so we know who's going to be here next year. And then obviously we can just work to get rid of some of the other guys over time, because getting rid of players isn't really there's no real urgency to it, if that makes sense, as opposed to bringing in players. I feel like it's more urgent to bring in certain guys. It only becomes urgent if you have an issue with Tuchel in 2022, where we had way too many players and loads of guys who needed to get moved on but weren't getting moved on because we couldn't get rid of them for whatever reason. But other than that, I'm chill with the business. There's a couple players who I actively and strongly do not want Chelsea to go anywhere near, and I've made it very clear which guys I don't want my club to go after. There's a few guys who I would not mind us signing. There's a few guys who I could only dream of us signing, but unfortunately the club won't go for them. So for me, I'm chilling, man. I don't care too tough, mate. I used to get rattled over the transfer window when I was younger, but people nowadays, they just want a reason to cry. And there's no reason to, man. Like, what's the date today? It's the 9th of June, man. Like, go outside. the sun's out.
Grass, man, for real.
The sun's out, man. Or like, I don't know. There's like a whole heap of things to get excited about. Like, you know, take up a new hobby or whatever. Anyway, I've spoken enough now. You lot can say.
No, that's funny. So you guys, in terms of transfer as a whole, are you not concerned how much numbers we have for the Club World Cup, though? In terms of the players we have available, Ben, are you not concerned about that?
I mean, mildly, but I still think we have enough of a squad. We don't need 35 players to play at the Club World Cup. You know what I mean? Like, we have enough of a squad. And if we're real serious about it, we're probably not going to be rotating all that much anyways. You know, and you know, I don't think that you need to make rash decisions just for this tournament. Like, we already have a decent squad as is. You know, we're happy with it. If nobody told you anything about Maignan coming in, you would have been fine with Petrovic and Sanchez, or some of you might. I myself, I would have been okay. But you know, the opportunity to bring in Maignan now is really just an opportunity. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to break the bank, regardless of how you want to look at what breaking the bank is. 25 million. If the club don't want to spend that money on a want-away keeper who's on the last year of his deal, who's already said he's committed his future to Chelsea, then I get it. You know, what's the point? You know, if Milan are anywhere near competent as a club, they should be trying to get as much as they can for him. But at the same time, they have to realize that this guy's not signing a contract, and he's risking walking away for free as early as next January. So, you know, he's already said that he only wants Chelsea. He only wants to come here. So they're going to have to work with our terms if they want to get anything for this guy coming down the line. So, yeah, I'm calm with that. I'm calm.
You're calm.
That. Oh yeah, very calm. Very calm.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm nervous or anything like that. I'm just. Let's talk of Maignan, because that's a good segue in terms of. I was going to make a new point about the transfer window, but I think that's a good segue to Maignan himself. So it looks like. So wait, let's talk about this rationally, because this show has a bit of both. I banter a lot, but a lot of people know that the reason why they listen a lot to all of us, especially Couch, is because we bring a lot of like logic. And why I'm bringing that up is because a lot of Chelsea fan base, they melt down over small things, in my opinion, that are like logically you can debate over. For example, Don, you guys aren't in this chat, but Don, Big J, who's on TikTok, CB, everyone knows, and David, obviously everyone knows about David as well. They were having a debate about like the Roman and the current ownership. And it was basically a debate between like idealism and realism. And why it brings to Maignan is because a lot of people were crying, going, just pay the money. And I was explaining yesterday very clearly on my late night stream. I said, in business, you don't just pay an auction price. You never, ever do that. That's just basic. Forget even like the context of the market or the context of the scarcity of a product. You always try and bargain because logically, it just makes sense to bargain. It's just part of the game, supply and demand, and it's how it works. Okay? So the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of people are saying, why don't we just pay the money? He's world class or he's top class goalkeeper. Just pay the 25 million before someone else comes in. It's not as simple as that, especially when you're trying to negotiate for many players at once, because he's not the only player we're going to buy this summer. Like these two said before, at least the 9th of June, the window's been open for a week and a bit, officially a week, just over a week. And we've still got plenty of transfer window to get on with and money to spend. So I only said before we went live, I thought Here We Go would come now because I would assume that Milan's, stubbornness would wear thin now because the deadline is literally what? We've got 24 hours left and then it's all over.
Yeah, but what is this deadline, though? This deadline means nothing.
I think it's when the transfer window ends. I think that's what
I know in the transfer window it's about.
It opens up again on the 16th.
No, I'm talking about like the World Cup.
Yeah, but there shouldn't be this additional pressure to get players in for this tournament. I'm sorry. You know, like if you can get it over the line, sure. But Milan don't necessarily have to lower their prices until maybe the end of the actual window. Like anything
No,
before
but you know,
that.
I was thinking this though, and that's why I debated myself. Then this is perfect for you and absolutely disagree with me here. Listen to me carefully. I actually think their best chance of getting the highest price is now. That's why I think they're moving stubborn. I think the price lowers once a new window opens because supply of goalkeepers goes up, and more teams have more money. So even though demand will go up for Maignan, more players will be available in the market. So it'll be about the same. I don't think it will increase.
But like I said, he's already. You don't think it's going to increase because what makes you think more teams can't get involved now, though?
Because that's my argument. If more teams were to be involved now, then Chelsea, I don't think would be in this position anyway. I don't think they would want to be in this position where there's many teams bidding for him because it increased the price. I think the reason why they're so like this is because they don't think anyone's else coming in. They're very confident Maignan saying no. The problem is Milan believe the highest price point is now. They believe, because if it wasn't now, they would just sell him for what we want or meet in the middle quite quickly.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to do that or lose him for free anyways, right? That's the point, right?
Jimmy said this to me the other day. I agree with
that?
him, but it doesn't mean that Milan think that way too.
Yeah, I hear this, but you know,
I mean, they're trying to protect. They're trying to make as much as they can.
But I think they're trying to make as much as they can now because they know once the next window opens, I think the price will even lower even more, if not stay the same.
Why? Okay, but why would it lower more? Like after 5 days?
Is there a 5-day difference between the two windows?
Yeah. Bro. Like literally 5-6 days.
The thing is, when you talk about these two windows, you talk about windows. Listen, let me.
Nah, Jimmy's confident, and I suppose.
Yeah, Jimmy. You know what it is with the Maignan thing?
I'm just saying.
Do you know what's with the Maignan thing? I'm just gonna say this. So there's two things. Number one, no one wants Maignan at Chelsea more than me. This is someone who I've been a massive fan of for a good 3 to 4 years. I really think that if we sign him, he can help elevate the team and he can hold down a spot until hopefully Mike Penders, who's supposed to be, the new top keeper in waiting, comes of age and becomes a good enough keeper to take us forward, and hopefully we can dominate with him for a long time. Now, there's two things. I understand both sides of where people are upset over this whole Maignan thing, and I think, do you know what it is? I don't think what the club are doing is wrong in terms of trying to be careful and lowball or whatever. I just think that the reason why people are a bit, upset is because of who's doing it. Because let's be honest, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's not a good point. Then
what do you mean? Who's doing it? What do you mean?
No, let's
be honest, right? Win Stanley and Stewart do not have the best credibility when it comes to negotiating for transfers, innit? Just as an example, Don Moises Caicedo doing it. They tried to lowball Brighton at the start, and then guess what happened? Liverpool came in. I know that's not necessarily entirely their fault, but then
Liverpool was there from time anyways.
Yeah, but here it is. Liverpool came in, and then eventually, even though they tried to lowball, they ended up overpaying by about £30 million. Which actually, no, sorry, not 30. 25. Sorry, 25.
I mean, you're making it sound, but if you're saying that, you're making it sound like we're the only ones involved in trying to bring Caicedo to the club. Like, I think Liverpool was there too. Like, we just might not have been hearing the reports and stuff like that. But we didn't have a free run at Caicedo. There's no chance that we had a free run at Caicedo.
I'm not saying we did. I'm just saying that it was very clear. Like, let's be honest. Chelsea, just for the Caicedo things, I don't want to spend too long on it. Chelsea did a lot of groundwork to sign Moises Caicedo from around January.
True.
From the time, remember the reports from when they said Declan Rice had completely said, nah, bun this. I don't want to sign you. At that point, Chelsea were negotiating for Caicedo, and they at least tried to make some groundwork to go and sign him. So they, present shit or whatever. We done more groundwork than anyone. All that needed to be done was to negotiate a price, which is which I want to say is the easy part. It's not.
It's not the easy. That's the hardest part, right?
No, it's the hardest part, but at least it got to a stage where everything else was done. He'd given you your word. His agent has said, listen, we will come under these terms, whatever. You just need to go to whoever, Tony Bloom or whoever was running the transfers at the time, and say, listen, we'll give you this and that. They set a specific price. They dilly-dallied for a while because I know, listen, I'm not stupid. I know transfers of that magnitude, they take a while. They do. I don't expect to get done in like 2-3 weeks. That's FIFA shit. Obviously, yes, maybe 1-2 months, but it got to the point where someone came in with a British record transfer fee for them to eventually pay up, and they overpaid. And this isn't the first time that they fumbled deals. For example, the Olise transfer saga last summer was partly on them. If you really want to look at it.
I mean, was it though? Like,
No, I'm not saying it was all on them. I'm partly it was.
Olise went to a team that had Champions League, and we couldn't offer that.
No, I know. But I'm saying there's two different parts to it. There's the Olise thing. There's the when you look at, as I said, Casado's just an example. There's a few different signings which
the only thing that I feel like they fumbled hard on the last couple of years, and I'm just like, how did that even happen? Is when they moved Conor Gallagher to Atletico Madrid, and they're supposed to bring Samuel Omorodion back. The guy said, "You know what? I'm not joining because the image rights thing." And then they were left holding the bag, and then they had to bring in Felix. Like, that was poor negotiating. They should have just like
But that's what I'm saying.
But like everything else, like, I mean, we didn't have a free run at Olise. He's probably one of the more sought after players in world football at the time. We came close. We just couldn't offer him what he wanted. So
no, but you see, also the Olise thing, there's two sides to it. I think the 2024 time when we went after him, I think that's not really, listen, as much as people want to corn them, it's about at most 30% their fault and 70% there's external factors, including the player himself. I do think the bigger the time where they should have held more smoke was the 2023 one, where if you lot read what what's his name, Simon Phillips said apparently, and don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but I remember someone reported that apparently Chelsea went to the player first and inquired about a release clause as opposed to the club, and that's illegal. You're supposed to go to the club first and ask them about a player before. You have to get permission first before you speak to the player about terms, and then you can put an offer, and it goes from there. And so they basically went to Palace, knowing Palace didn't give them permission, say we want to activate this £35 million.
That stuff happens all the time, though. Man.
And that was but that's what I'm saying. That's where they fucked up. That's where I get where people are worried about what they're doing. So it's not so much what they're doing; it's who's doing it. If it was Luis Campos negotiating this, transfer, no one would be complaining. No one would be complaining. That's what I'm saying. So in a way, this is gonna sound mad. I'm not a fan of Winstanley and Stewart. I'm not gonna be out here and pretend like they're the best directors on the planet. I just feel like, in a way, they're getting unfair criticism because of past mistakes. But if anything, they're doing the right thing. It's how do I say? It's right person, wrong messenger, if that makes sense.
Fair. Yeah, 100%. And
fair.
For those who don't believe in the movement and the project, they're gonna project a lot of anger towards little decisions being made, because in their opinion, it's confirmational bias. Which, for those who don't know what that means, essentially means anything from a certain individual people is done. No matter what they do, you believe a certain way relative to what's going on. Regardless of what's going on, if they're doing it, it's just how it's going to be. They won't be able to see the wood between the trees, meaning they won't be able to see, is it objective? Is it the right move? Is it not? We could sign tomorrow.
You know what the funny thing is about that whole thing?
You could sign Mbappe tomorrow and they'll complain about the price.
Yeah, but what it comes down to is this. You have so much energy invested in one opinion, right? Like, okay, this is what has to happen. You spent months putting energy into this one idea, right? And then when it goes the other way, like you invested so much energy in it, you find it so hard to pivot off of what you were feeling initially, right? So this whole idea about the board and whatnot not doing well, like they've done well, but they've been doing well. But the initial energy that was put in when they're signing the likes of like Aubameyang and like Sterling and all these guys, that initial energy is harder to reverse because it's already been put into motion and whatnot. Like, so when people have online personalities come on and say like, oh yeah, this, that, and the other, it's because it's based on what they were saying from the past, what they were saying before, and they don't want to be viewed as somebody's like taking back their talk now or saying something completely different. Like they're just wrong and strong in their opinion because they've invested so much energy in it, right? And I'm not that guy. Like I can very, very firmly, firmly release my one opinion of one and then say, you know what, this is what's happening now, and I'm not judging this window until the window closes. This window's barely open, so like if we get to the end of the window and things don't look a certain way, we're in the Champions League, we have to have a bigger squad, a squad that can compete on all four fronts. if we're not there by then you'll start by hearing me have a little gripe here and there. But until then, it's just like this noise about like, oh, we got to get this player in now. Like, oh, it's just like virgins on prom night, like just mugging themselves off before they get to the big dance, man. You know what I mean? Just relax, man. Take some time to get these things done.
But that's what I'm with. Listen, as I said, I would ideally, in an ideal world, and I think everyone would agree with this, ideally we want to have a settled squad as soon as possible so we can get to work, and then it's easier tonight for Maresca to get his ideas across and for the team to at least have so it's easier for us to get an idea of what the team's going to look like next season. However, in the grand scheme of things, this is not FIFA career mode. I wish it was, because if it was, I probably would have signed Mbappe and OSIMHEN by now. But unfortunately, this is real life. So for me, because it's the 9th of June, it's not even, it's not even like, listen, school is still on for those who are in the UK. Like summer holidays haven't even landed. So for me, as far as because I don't really care. Like, I'm chilling, man.
Robert, obviously you can ditto a lot of what we said already. I already know you agree.
Robert, I've been hearing all kinds of good things about you, man. Level-headed.
Thank God the good things.
Big up, bro.
I always said I'll get you two on the stream. I'm very happy you two are both on the stream. You know what I'm saying? Robert, I know you're not stressed about Maignan, or are you? I don't want to speak for you. How do you feel about the situation? Do you feel like we're negotiating correctly, or do you somewhat agree that we should get the deal done ASAP and pay 25 million? What's your thoughts?
No, absolutely not. And this is my point. My point on this has been: this is not just about Maignan. It's not just about acquiring Maignan. It is about the window is long, and if you start kowtowing to everybody's demand and say, AC Milan said 25 million. Even if we think 25 million is a steal for him, even if we think, it's not that big a deal, we can pay it in our sleep. You don't do that. The window is still wide open, it's still fresh in the beginning. You just don't do that, because then Frankfurt will say, well, they asked for 25 for their player. We give them exactly their player valuation. Why don't you want to give us exactly our player's valuation? Then Dortmund's going to say, well, you gave AC Milan and Frankfurt their players valuation. We value Gittins at 50 million. Give us our valuation of the player, because you give everybody else their players valuation. And so even if we think Maignan is worth more than 25, even if we can pay 25, even if we think it's a steal, it is a bad look in the market. You're going into and we say, oh, they're bad at negotiating, but we want them to put themselves into an even much worse negotiating position.
Exactly.
For the rest of the window, because everybody's gonna say, demand this, and Chelsea will pay that, because that's how they've moved all window long. And the fact that the worst thing you can do in a summer transfer window or in any transfer window is show that you're desperate. And our whole point is, we are not desperate. I mean, if Maignan comes by the deadline, cool. If he doesn't, the window is still long. We are not that desperate. We'll march on with for the time being. We got Petrovic that we can try out for the time being. And so whenever you decide to end with the Maignan nonsense, then come to the table and we'll negotiate. Even if at the end of the day we end up just knocking 2 million off of the 25 million price, it is worth it, because just get it on their terms, not on AC Milan terms. And that puts you in a negotiating position for the rest of the window, where everybody will say, well, Chelsea will negotiate. They expect you to negotiate and not come to the table and be like, well, you give everybody the valuation of their player that they gave you. Well, then give us a valuation of the player that we give you, because otherwise, keep on stepping. We wait on somebody else. And so I'm relaxed. I'm not stuck in this Maignan thing.
The thing, especially because of the position that we're in right now. Like nobody, like it's like we have two keepers. Like, I mean, say what you want about them. I think that Magnan's better than them. Like, no doubt about it. But we were prepared to go into this this period with Petrovic and Sanchez, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't see how that changes just because an opportunity has presented itself where you have to say, well, we're just going to pay the money and get it done. Like, no, you have you have the ability to negotiate now. Like that was what was earned to you by the fact that you have two goalkeepers that you were comfortable with going into the Club World Cup with. If
Yeah.
there's no pressure being put on AC Milan right now, like to get this deal done, you best believe by the end of this window, the end of the actual window, there will be pressure on them to sell him. And
You know, but
so,
it is. Chelsea fans one has to be more desperate than Milan. Milan is the one that's in a compromising position here. Like the player that's going to go, you can lose him on a free. You are broke. We come onto the table. There doesn't seem to be anybody else coming in. Like Man United isn't showing any interest. City isn't showing any interest. I don't see any other club coming in and say, well, we want Maignan. And so you can say, well, there's a bidding war between between you guys. And so if that's the case, if that is the case, that we are the only ones on the table for Maignan. The player is desperate to leave. He's told you he doesn't want to stay. I don't care if you got a new coach. I don't want to be here anymore. And I'm going into the last year of my contract. Why do we want to look more desperate than Milan does? Why?
Do you know what it is? Listen, guys. Do you know what's funny? This reminds me of something, and I know this is a bit of a sore spot, lads. So bear with me. I'm not trying to like remind anyone of that old pains. Do you remember when the rat Courtois was due to leave, and eventually he forced our hands, and we had to sell him for cheap because no way should a player of his quality have gone for the price he went to, even if it's to Real Madrid. So I feel like eventually what's going to happen with Maignan, depending on how desperate he is or how desperate Milan are, someone will just bite the bullet and say, do you know what, listen, let's come to some agreement in it. So I personally think what will end up happening, there'll be a middle ground of around 18 to 20 million pounds with a few add-ons. Therefore, they will near enough get the valuation that they're looking for when it comes to the 25 M's. And we won't have to pay an obscene, well, not obscene, but we won't have to, show that we're desperate to get my man in. It's because, as Robert said, we've got Petrovic. The other guy, I will not mention him because, listen, if we want to be serious and level up, he cannot be a starting goalkeeper for Chelsea Football Club. He needs to get moved up. Now, he's shit, and no one ever changed my mind on him. He's dog shit. One of the worst keepers I've ever seen in my life. Absolute crap. Anyway, so, but then we've got the other guy, Petrovic, who can come in and do a thing or whatever. And I think Mike Penders is, I don't know, maybe he'll go on, no, maybe he'll stay as a backup, who knows. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. But for me, right now, I'm chill. If it's the 9th of August, then, we can have a different conversation then.
Yeah, on that, there was an update. I'll put it on the screen for transparency so everyone can see it as well as we can. From Fabrizio Romano, kind of confirm what we all said. They're still negotiating. It doesn't look like the deal's going to be off by any means necessary. I think the deal will get done maybe today. And yeah, you guys are persuading me. Maybe I should relax a little bit. Maybe I'm getting a bit too attached to the situation in terms of I want the guy now, I want him over the line. But you know what it is, Rob and then Abs? It's just the fact that the club has identified good targets, and I've always backed them for that. And it's just been annoying that some of the targets you've identified have not got over the line. I just don't want it to be another scenario where we're linked to really good players and they've done their job, and then another stick to hit them with is, even though they do their job, Chairs, they can never get over the line. That's a new goalpost movement, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
but
what they keep saying.
This is
That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Honestly, this is a unique scenario altogether, right? First of all, the player has already said that he wants to join Chelsea. Right? He says he's not resigning with Milan. So the negotiating tools that they would normally use in terms of like trying to bargain for a different price, those don't exist anymore. It's not like when you what you call fumbling for Elise. This is a completely different scenario. The team we have them by the short and curlies right now. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, by the end of this window, not this little bullshit 10 of whatever, like June 10th, by the end of the August, when the actual window came to, was it August 9th or something like that? They will have absolutely no leverage at all to negotiate. Absolutely none. They may think that they have something now because Chelsea want to be in the, they want them in for the Club World Cup. That's the only thing they're holding on to right now. Once this window passes and it gets into the actual window, with each passing day, their leverage dwindles every single day. When it gets to the deadline, they're going to have to take Chelsea's terms, or else they lose them for free.
Yeah, I think they're trying to concede now, because look what we just got another update. Looks like Fab's on YouTube doing his little live thing. He said, I had an important call just now, so it was a few minutes ago. Chelsea Milan keep talking in these minutes. No agreement yet, but the fact they're still talking is a positive sign for being like, let's see. So I think today we could find out.
Yeah, more than likely.
Done. Yeah.
Listen, hopefully it gets done because, like I said, as Prime calls him, actually I won't say the name. With Mr.
Sanchez, man, Robert Sanchez, man, was very influential in our down the stretch run where we won points.
To be fair, Devil's Advocate, they were all influential though.
Listen, I'll be honest.
All the players contributed, so we can.
Yeah, so did he.
I'll be honest. I hear this, but listen, Levi Colwill was also very influential, and I know someone on this panel does not really rate Levi Colwill at this and would happily sell him. So if we're gonna do that now. By the way, Robert, it's not this, man. I know you don't rate Cole, and I'm with you.
Robert was charging up when you said that, you know. He was
I
am man enough to admit he played well in the stretch of the games. Does not mean does not change. Like just like Poch did well in the last 5 games of last season, does not mean I rated him as a coach. You know what I mean? And so, you know, if Cole keeps it up, hey, happy days. But until I see a full season of him putting those type of performance,
21, 22, yeah, he's young.
Yeah, I think he's a good young center back. He's got a lot to learn, obviously, but
guys,
21, 22 years old.
I'll be honest with you.
He has to be good. He plays for Chelsea. He's 21, and he got the third best. He's part of the third best defense in the league.
You know what it is?
Like, you have to be a good player to do that.
You know what it is with Colwill? I just think he's. I'm not saying he's bad. Listen, there's no such thing as a. Okay, even with Sanchez, as much as I don't really want to say, there's no such thing as a rubbish Premier League player. The majority of them are good footballers at a certain level, innit? At a base level, they're all good footballers. If you're playing Premier League football, I just think Levi Colwill is massively overrated. I think he's very overrated by a lot of Chelsea fans. But
what in their opinion, like the people that you said are overrating him, where do they rate him? Like, what is he?
So I've heard some people say that he is the best centre back prospect in England. I've heard people say that he starts for every single.
That's not really a stretch. The best young centre back prospect in England.
Well, he's not. But do you know what? I'll tell you for free. He's not better than. It depends what your definition of young is. But I'll tell you for free. He's not better than Jared Branthwaite.
He's better than Jared Branthwaite. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
He's better than Jared Branthwaite.
He's not.
He's better than Jared Branthwaite. And that's not even debatable to me. Jared Branthwaite cannot play ball progression football. He cannot. He's not good with the ball at his feet.
That's cap.
It's cap. Have you seen this guy with the ball at his feet?
Jared Branthwaite is.
Oh my goodness.
He can
kick the ball. Yeah, he can kick the ball.
I'll tell you what.
But in terms of being pressed and like being able to be press resistant, move the ball quickly, long range passing, he's not that guy.
Okay,
he's not that guy.
Then you say this, and you know, listen, maybe Colwill is slightly better at ball playing. I don't think there's a lot in it.
Oh, slightly? Brother,
now, listen. Even then, what's the centre back's main job?
What do you mean?
Defending.
In our setup?
No. In the sport of football, what is the centre back paid?
Defending.
Okay, cool. Jared Branthwaite is a better defender than Levi Colwill, and it's not even
in the modern game though. There's more to a defender than just guy that can just like defend the box, right? You have to be able to progress.
No. But there's listen, at the grand scheme of things, I get that, but there's always going to your primary role never changes. It's not a stinker. Branthwaite is better.
But you have to be able to do more than just that now to be at the top level, right? Like you can't.
I know, but I don't. Yeah, but here's the thing. My thing is, I don't believe. Listen, for me, I think the gap technically between Branthwaite and Colwill is smaller than the gap.
That, man.
No. Hold on. Bear with me. I think the gap between them technically is smaller than the gap between them defensively. I think that for me, if
I encourage you to go watch him when he's getting like. Don't forget how Everton play. Everton don't play progressive football. They sit back in their box and wait for people to come. He's not good on the ball, man. He's not. It's just that simple.
The point is, I'll even get Robert involved. Random segue. I don't know how we got here, but I guess it's good conversation, right? 100 people in here.
I didn't want to join. I'm just enjoying.
No, I'm saying I want to get
I'll tag you in, bro. Go on. There you go.
I'll get then in Abs are arguing. I have to get involved. You know what I'm saying? It's all fun. You know what I'm saying? I like it. But 100 people in the chat, by the way. So love for the love and all that. I hear it. But hit the like button for me. Also, Den's Twitter will be below and his channel. Abs' Twitter will be below and Rob's channel and Twitter will be below as well. So make sure you follow them as well. And hit the like button. And my subs need to go up as well. Because 50% of you are not subscribed, which doesn't make sense. Don't freeload. Don't be a free rider. Don't be like Chelsea's owners and be stingy.
You know what you gotta do. You know what you gotta do.
Rob.
Yeah.
Random question, yeah. If Braithwaite came in to the team, who does he displace? If anybody. Who does he take over? Like who does he start?
I don't think my brother. I think my brother is not like this. I think he displaces Colwell.
He's not displacing Colwell. You guys are crazy.
I mean, this is.
Give us a reason why. Give us a reason why. Go on.
I think. As Ab says, he's a better defender. I am kind of tired of people when you talk about defender. First thing they bring up is, oh, look how fantastic he is on the ball. Like I know Colwell is good on the ball, but every center back these days he's pretty much ball playing. And I just want center backs who I can trust in defensive actions, who I can trust with aerial duels, who I can trust.
You know what the funny thing is with that though? Let me just say this one piece and then let you finish.
Yeah.
Chelsea are going to have the ball 65% of the game, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be good in possession in order to play in the system. You have to be good in possession because we're going to have the ball more often than not. So if you're looking for a guy that can just defend the box and like do clearances and whatnot, yeah, Braithwaite would probably be better than Colwell. But in the system that we play at Chelsea, you cannot tell me he's going to displace Colwell because as soon as that guy gets pressed, he's turning over the ball.
But it's not like Colwell is Van Dijk on the ball either, though. Like
no, of course not.
We've seen him get pressed by Kudus and panic whole game long.
Yeah, right? But the bottom, his passing range is much better still, right? He's still able to pick a pass. Guys, what are we doing here?
No, he's good. He's good on the ball. I just don't think he's clear. He's making it out to me. I just don't think.
Guys, I encourage. I'm gonna put something in the chat. I encourage you to watch. I encourage you to watch that. I just put it in the private chat. Just watch that. Okay. I mean,
yeah, but if this is a debate, then we shouldn't be going for Bramway anyway.
No, but he
going for high level.
Can you pull up Matthew Atkins' comment where he's mentioned these 22? That comment,
yeah,
right
sure,
there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now this is my issue with Colwell, isn't it? So if you lot said from the start he's a young centre back, of course he's got talent, but we need to give him time to develop and do his thing. I would never have said a word on this guy. I'd have left him alone and be like, you know what? Fine. If you mess up, you mess up. It's not a big deal. That's what I thought anyway. The problem is his fanboys were telling me he's better than this guy and better than that guy. I've had people tell me he starts for Liverpool over Konate or for Arsenal over Gabriel. And whenever he has a good game, they say he's like a top 5 centre-back in England when he's not better than, just as an example, he's not better than Christian Romero at Spurs. He's not better than Van der Ven. He's not better than Konate or Virgil. He's not better than Gabriel or Saliba. The Man City, to be fair, I don't really rate them, but he's not better than most of them. Apart from maybe Akanji, he's better than him because Akanji's crap. Who else? He's not better than just an example, Sven Botman at Newcastle, nowhere near as good as him, or Fabian Schär. He's not better than any of those two. He's not better than Dean. Listen, there's another guy I don't really rate, Dean Huijsen at Bournemouth, who I think is another one who is slightly overrated. He's not better than him. If you want to use young centre backs in Europe, he's not better than Pau Kubasi. He's not better than Raul Asensio.
Okay, but you said in England though, right? In England, like in England,
I said around the world, and I specifically said young centre backs around the world. Now, if you want to fact, he's not better than those two, just for example. So for me, if you lot set the expectation of, listen, he needs time to grow into this role, then fair enough. But you lot hyped him to the umpteenth level, and now when I want to start holding him to these standards, you lot start crying and say, oh, he's 22, he's 22. Listen, if you give someone high expectations, they have to live up to them. For example, Palmer gets given high expectations. If he doesn't live up to them, he gets criticized for it. No? So why does Colwell get these excuses?
I don't think he gets excuses. It's just a fact.
Oh, he absolutely does.
He's a young. I would actually say that the opinion on Colwell, especially this year, has changed drastically in terms of like what he is as a footballer. And for me, I look at him, I'm just kind of like, yeah, he's got a lot to learn, but he's young and he's showing that he can play a high, like tactically technical football. Like he can play that style of football. So for me, that is an invaluable style of play. That's an invaluable way. It's an invaluable skill set to have, to play high tactical, technical football and not look out of place in it at 22.
No,
he's going to grow. He's going to grow. He's going to get better. His awareness in the box is going to get better. His composure, all that stuff's going to get better as he gets older. Like center backs don't really start maturing till like 26, 27, really. He's 22. So that is a fact.
Dennis, you know what's funny? Dennis, you know what's funny? I 100% agree. I'm not saying that he can't get better. I'm not someone who's saying, he'll never be a good player or whatever. I've not even said he's a bad defender. If I have said he's a bad defender, I'm sorry. He's not bad. He's not rubbish. He's just overrated. That is my issue with him.
Maybe.
I don't think that he's, completely washed up and will never reach a decent level. I just believe the way that people spoke on him before he came to Chelsea was criminal.
I just know if Jimmy was here right now, he'll be shouting at you, Abs.
Jimmy, this is
he'll
a lie.
be shouting at you.
If
Jimmy was here right now, he would be onto you. Oh
I
my
think it's worth pointing out a couple of facts. Like I know we were in for Hoyson, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a left center back. We're interested.
I thought he plays on the right. I thought he plays off the right.
No, he plays off
the left.
He
can play both.
Oh, does he play at the left? Okay.
He can do both.
We're in for Brownford. Primarily, Everton plays a left center back.
Mm-hmm.
We're in for Heto, plays left center back.
Yeah.
I haven't seen many links to us for right center back, have we?
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with how we play, right? How we play.
I don't think
Chalobah becomes.
You think they have a view of Chalobah staying? I think they might do.
No, I think it has a lot to do with how we play out from the back. You want your best passer of the ball in the middle, right? In the middle of the three, right? So Colwell to me represents the middle of the back three, and then you need somebody to the left of him, which is sometimes Cucurella, but you'd rather see Cucurella. He's better advancing the ball forward, right? Yeah. And then on the right side, it's looking like it's going to be Reece James now as the right-sided center back of three, or he pushes into the midfield, and then you need somebody in that back line that can play center back, right? Left center back, right? So I can see why they want one, because you want to still keep Colwell in the middle. But I mean, for me, it's Hato. I think Hato.
But then if you pick Colwell in the middle, and on those odd games where we're going against Liverpool and we don't invert Cucurella because we want him to stay wide on Salah, then you're having Levi Colwell defending wide area on the right hand.
No, you still have him in the middle.
Yeah, when we're in possession, but out of possession, he becomes de facto right back.
How does he become the right back?
No, because then the right back inverts, right? And if there's a loss of possession, and the right back is not back in his position yet, then Liverpool has to move over, right? And then
you still have a right-sided center back. If you're inverting your right back, then you still have a right-sided center back there.
Exactly, and that would be Colwell.
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be.
No, but it will be Cucurella, right? The left hand is the left.
Cucurella, Colwell, and whoever the right back or the right center back is.
No, but in this position, we're saying we're bringing in a left-sided center back because you want Colwell to be in the middle. So it will be that center back plus Colwell plus the right back, right?
Right. And in games, so you're in games where you don't want to. So in games where you don't want to invert Cucurella, you want him to stay home. Yeah, then you're going to have another positional right back or right center back to play there. Like you're still going to need somebody that can play that position. I don't think you play Colwell on the right-sided center back.
I'm just saying it seems very, because when we were linked to Hoyson, I think it was Matt Law that said Moresca, we were after Hoyson because Moresca wants to pair him with Fofana. That is the report
that would be nice, except for Fofana.
He said, he wanted to pair him with Fofana because he's in love with Fofana's style of play. And so
it could be true.
I'm just saying he is a young center back. He will mature, but I think at this point, even at 22, as young as he is, there should have been something elite about him that he does defensively that you can say, well, he's still 22. If he develops this and this and this and this and that, he will be absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
I just don't see the bar playing, ball playing. I don't see any elite defensive attribute that he possesses that you can say, well, if he develops the side to side, if he's good, he's great aerially, fantastic. Well, if he becomes more physical as he grows up, then he can be a more physical center back.
That's his biggest weakness to me. When you talk about his aerial ability, that's the one thing I'm just like, whoa, this is way off the pace. So I hear you. Like, it's not like he's flawless, and I don't rate him as high as whatever.
Like a Hoyson, for instance. Hoyson, you can say his ability to manipulate the space or defend, like the Thiago Silva style, like he defends more with his head than. But then
he's not the most physical, but he's pretty smart.
But then you say if he adds physicality, like when he grows up and he puts on his man body, he's gonna because he's already elite at something else defensively, and he already has most defensive attribute. He's great in the air. He's great at he know how to position himself very well. But you can say if you add physicality, he's gonna take the next step. My point is with Cole, I haven't seen anything that can say if he adds this, it seems like he needs to add everything. And I just don't think
just finish up
he's gonna add
myself. Listen.
You see with Cole, I'll just say one last thing. I won't take
Go on, I was one last point.
I think that at best, and I'm happy to be proven wrong, by the way. If I'm wrong, then you can cook me who you want. At best, he will be the side man to a serious centre-back. Like how, for example, and this is no disrespect because there have been some fantastic side men over the years. For example, like at Manchester City, you'd have someone like, I don't know, but a lot of people who were side men to Vincent Kompany were half decent. At Chelsea, Gary Cahill was a fantastic side man. He was a fantastic side man to John Terry, for example. Or even, I don't know, who's another one? Rafael Varane at Real Madrid was a fantastic side man to Sergio Ramos.
After you started talking and Jimmy said to me, send me the link.
Oh, no, coming through.
This is crazy.
No, I can't.
Listen, Jimmy. That's for me. For me, Cole, his best bet is to be someone, the side man to someone, if that makes sense.
The right side man.
Listen, Varane at Real Madrid. Listen, was Varane at Real Madrid the main centre back? No, it was Sergio Ramos. Or am I bugging here?
You see, Abs. My thing is, I agree with you. I think I will keep Colwill as depth centre back. I think he's a good backup centre back to somebody who's who's more advanced or elite than he is, or possesses more defensive ability than he does. But the problem is, we're in the World Cup year. He's in the 100K week. I don't think he's gonna be.
It's true.
He's gonna be okay with just being a side.
So I think
here where he can go somewhere else and start week in and week out and be in contention for the World Cup, the World Cup squad. That is my apprehension. Saying if you make him a side man, I don't think going in the World Cup year that's gonna play very well.
Yeah,
I think that is the one that was to say.
No, but Robert, when I said side man, I don't mean side man as in terms of someone who doesn't play. I meant side man.
He's a backup.
You have your main man, and then you have the side man. That's
Robert, Abs means like 1-2. Doesn't mean like second option. It means like
just as
it means starting, but the main guy is the main centre back, and he's the second.
Yeah, like for instance,
like Van Dijk and Gomez, or Van Dijk and Kanate. Van Dijk is superior. Kanate's still good, but he's not. He's like he's seen as the understudy. He's like the backup to the main guy.
We all listen. I'd like to assume that everyone on this panel.
No one said he didn't.
But listen, I'd like to think everyone on this panel.
I don't know where he got that from. But anyway, let me give my opinion. This is a good debate. I didn't even get to speak. I love this. This is sick. I think it's middle in the road. I think somewhere in the middle. I think he's I agree with Robert where he hasn't got any outstanding qualities. I think Dennis would agree with that. Maybe he disagrees in some areas. But I don't look at Cole and look at him and go, he excels at anything in particular. I think he's a very decent centre-back who can grow into a good quality player. And is that level going to be good enough to win us trophies as a starting centre-back? It's hard to tell. He might develop very well the next few years. And we might turn on and go, he's 25 now. He's grown in size. He's very mature. His IQ's improved. But you would probably want to see that now a bit. You'd want to see something in him now, which tells you he can develop into that player, like a OSIMHEN, for example, or Hato, who's highly thought of, you can mold into that player, right? I don't see that as of yet. When he plays, I still get that inkling he's going to make a mistake or he's going to do something silly. I don't want that in my top centre-back. When Van Dijk plays, I know he's the elite level. He's the exception that doesn't make the rule. But when Van Dijk plays and you watch him play, you know what he's going to do. You know how he's going to move. You're very sure and confident in what he's going to bring to the team. We have missed that for a long time since the Champions League final. Okay? It was only towards the last 9 games of the season when we saw a bit of continuity and a bit of consistency. Because we're forgetting the 9-game run we had where it was all over the place. Right? So I need to see that next season with our centre-back and with our goalkeeper, which we just spoke on it, where our centre-back, Cole, whoever comes in, with Maignan, hopefully, we look at them and it's solid. We don't have to worry about the defence. Or, yes, mistakes will happen. You're not going to concede goals, okay? That's football. But in terms of the consistency of the centre-back pairing, the quality on the ball, the less making of mistakes, there's plenty of the games this season, guys, where Cole, he's been out of position. Or what goal was it? Ipswich game, where he just switched off. He just switched off for no reason. It wasn't a groundbreaking attack. It's some average Ipswich attackers who don't score goals. You know? So for me, I might have sent the wrong link. But for me, I did send the right link. Cool. So for me, if we're debating over Brandpoint and Cole, that kind of implies that he's not good enough. Because how is a guy who's playing at Everton that don't even play an expansive brand of football?
You guys, that's the funny thing though. Like, why are we even talking about a guy that doesn't even play the style of football that we're playing at the club right now?
No, but see,
just because he's linked to the club.
For me, then even about Bradford, like my preferred choice would be Murillo from Forest, if I could have it my way.
Yeah, all right.
Be Murillo from Forest. But I think the point is, I think Cole is a decent centre back to be a backup in the Chelsea squad. I don't think he is
for backup. Just so we know, you guys realize that he's not being groomed as the backup, right? He's being groomed as CB1 right now.
But if he's being groomed as CB1, why are we getting Brandpoint then?
I don't think we're getting Brandpoint. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, but why are we linked to?
We get linked with a lot of people. I'm telling you right now, I'd be shocked if we put.
Hey, chat, by the way, I'm going to let you know, I'm not going to speak the rest of the stream because you guys are going to take over. Because Jimmy,
you know,
you lot are taking over. I'm just here.
Jimmy,
we never tried. Listen, we tried to sign
Jimmy, smile, man.
Was never going to land because they listen. There was a lot of briefs that came out regarding Brandpoint. The truth is, they just didn't want to pay the money for him, which was, to be fair, it was crazy because they wanted about 70 odd million pounds for him. I think that's fine. If they don't want to pay it, then whatever, man. Not that deep. We move.
Jim, you sent me a voice note.
Caldwell's only gonna be a side man, and he's only 22. I'm not even the biggest Caldwell fan. You're bugging.
Neither am I, to be honest. Like, it's just funny. I'm not even his biggest supporter.
Yeah, I'm not even the biggest.
You're being rational. I don't think you're being emotional. You're defending him based off your own rationale.
I
don't think you're
I
I agree with Robert, Abs, and you. I think you make sense.
Yeah, I'm not even the biggest Caldwell fan, but yeah, to say he's only gonna be a side man, like, yeah, you could say that if he reached 24 and 25, and like, dude's 22, bro.
No, but Jimmy,
but Jimmy, you have to admit, you must
Jimmy,
see something.
there's a big difference between what I think.
Take control, yeah. Hey, Jimmy, you're new to the show, yeah. Give us one attribute that Cole excels in.
He's 22. He don't need one.
No, but you need to. It's not about the age. It's about the quality. We've all agreed with this. Me and Robert will tell you, he's the biggest advocate for this, with the ownership. It's not about the age. It's about the quality of the player.
No, the age does matter. I don't know. What's this idea? Yo, you never judge what a player should be by an anomaly. You don't look and be like, well, Yamal's 17, so that 21-year-old should be. No, Yamal is what you call a phenomenon. They don't happen very often. when you go to class, your teacher don't base everything by the smartest kid. No, it's based by the smartest and the dumbest, and then you find the mean. You don't base everything about the best center backs in the world. I want you to name them and then tell me what they were doing at age 22.
Exactly. Good point.
How many of them was
go on, Robert.
The best center backs in the world right now, how many of them was as good as Levi Caldwell at 20?
Well, I'll let Robert respond because I think he was about to say
Jimmy,
something.
I don't think it's about what the center back was doing at that same age, what the center back was doing.
No, it definitely matters.
I think the point is when you watch Van Dijk, even at 22, you can see it was incredible in the air.
No. Okay, where was Van Dijk at 22? Because I don't know where the fuck Van Dijk was at 22.
No, not everybody has the same career path and the ability to come from Corbin and be Chelsea.
Okay, but that's the point. So how are you guys announcing Caldwell's not good enough to be whatever in a year or two now? If you saying everybody trajectory is different.
The point we're making is I don't expect, or nobody expects him to be the finished article at this point. But the thing is, at this point, you should be able to see what he can add to as he's growing to make him an elite center back. I just think for him, he still has to add everything.
Let me ask you this question: What did Thiago Silva do elite?
Thiago Silva. He's reading on the game. He's reading from the beginning.
So you think at age 22, Thiago Silva could read the game like he did?
Yes, just like Hoyson is at the age
of 20.
No, the fuck he did.
No.
Hoyson
Stop. Hoyson is not a world-class fucking center back.
Nobody said that though. But
he's 19 and had one good season. No. Levi Caldwell had one. He had a great season for Brighton. I'm not doing that. We're not going to look at one season of Hoyson and be like, oh, well, he has elite. What does Hoyson do elite?
He's reading on the game.
That shit ain't elite. It's not elite. I've watched him get cooked. It's not elite.
Yeah, so why is he Jimmy? Why is he going to Real Madrid then?
No, he's a good.
What is he going to Real Madrid to do?
To start games.
Is he elite?
He's not going to be there number one.
Jimmy, is he elite?
Wait. You do realize Rudiger's leaving and Eden Metal's injury prone, right?
He's not going. So you think Hoyson is going to be their number one center back? Hold on. You think Real Madrid next year, going into the season, to win the champs and to win the league is relying on Hoyson?
No, that's not my question.
All right, so what are we talking about?
My question originally was, if he's not elite, why is he going to Real Madrid at 20-something?
You don't have to be elite to go to Real Madrid. Why everybody that goes to Real Madrid, y'all think is elite?
You answered it. I've got a follow-up question then. So, Cole was linked to Liverpool, right? And all the Chelsea fans were like, don't sell him. He's really good quality. He's Chelsea quality. Cobham. He's got attributes. Cool. All we're saying is this season was a good example of showcasing him to show us something. What's he showing everyone on this panel?
All right, you know I don't even like Caldwell.
Yeah, I don't hate the guy.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this. Hold on. Y'all all claim our keeper is shit, right? Our keeper is shit. We all agree, right?
Yeah, I think he's
100%.
So who the fuck kept the goals out?
Yeah, but Jimmy, here's the thing, though.
No, don't Jimmy me. Who helped keep the goals out? We had the third best goal defense in the league.
That is credit to
If the fucking defenders can't get credit for that, then why am I watching football? And don't tell me Caicedo, because Caicedo is one fucking man and he cannot protect your entire back line.
Jimmy, you know we're with you with this. We all advocate, well, maybe not abs, but we all back the recruitment and to a certain degree. We're not saying that he's a bad player. We're just saying moving forward.
A player does not need anything to super stand out to be on their path to being a great player.
So
Levi Caldwell,
let's make it clear.
Levi Caldwell started off the season good, then he had a nosedive. And then in the most crucial time of the season, he played his best football. I'm going to say it again. when the games mattered the most, Levi Caldwell played his best football. So that, you know what that is? That's called being clutch. If he was an attacker, it would have been the equivalent of scoring goals, scoring game winners. In the last 9 games, we were not letting in goals. That was because of our defense. Our center backs started doing their job. I am not a Levi Caldwell fan, but you have to admit what you see.
No, but Jimmy, I just want to make this point very clear. When I said what I was saying about Cole, I'm not saying that he's doomed forever. I'm not saying that he will, he can never get better. I just think, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I'm not presenting this as a fact, by the way. This is completely subjective. I do not believe he will be this top draw centre back in the future. Can he get there? Maybe, maybe not. I don't have a crystal ball to tell you what's going to happen long term. But for me, I don't look at someone who I think is going to be the main man of a defense that wins shit. That's just me in it.
You don't have to, because he's 22. There's nobody that young that you can actually say that about. With confidence, none. Don't give me no fucking hoisting. Because he played one. If a player could play one good season and you tell me, oh yeah, he looks like he could be, then I'm telling you, you a dickhead. Fuck that. That means any young player that has a one good season, we can say that about. And I think we all know you can't do that about every young player with one season.
I'll let Robert respond.
Jimmy, we're talking to the wrong person because I'm also someone who doesn't rate Hoyson like that. When we've gone to Lewis's streams,
that's the example y'all gave me. Y'all said, well, Hoyson's going to Real Madrid. Like, what does that mean?
What do you mean?
No. Let me make it clear.
I don't bring Hoyson to the table.
That's too much of a basic point. I'm not saying.
I think he's overrated.
I don't want Robert to respond as well, yeah. But let me make it clear, Jimmy. I'm not saying because he's going to Real Madrid that equals that Cole will not go into Real Madrid makes him a bad player or whatnot. I'm purely saying. Let me explain. I'm clearly saying that Hoyson has shown an elite quality or qualities this season. Hence, his move to Real Madrid doesn't shock the world or shock.
I don't know what he's shown as elite.
Someone explained it before.
No. Yo, hold on. Elite.
It is.
Elite. He's not even the team of the season. Y'all stop throwing these words around.
That's exactly it. Like,
he has not shown not a fucking elite talent.
This
not
is
one.
I mean, he's a decent reader of the game, but I'll say this:
Chelsea,
like, you're not going to be able. You're not going to be able to define elite in 1 year. Elite to me is consistency first, 3-4 years, right? World class. If you're world class, okay, like he's a decent. I agree with you. His anticipation, his reading of the game is decent for his age, to be honest. But it's not elite. Like elite is 3 or 4 years doing it at the top level.
Caldwell has shown he's an elite passer as a center back.
There you go.
Elite. If that's the case, he's shown an elite quality of passing the ball as a center back. He's shown elite quality of being
line-breaking passes.
In that time.
I agree. Line-breaking passes.
100% agree, Jimmy. 100% agree with you on that one.
And let's not forget this. He ain't played with no fucking solid person next to him. He literally plays with somebody different every few weeks.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good argument. So Jimmy, let me talk to you about this. But by that logic, then Bayashil is potentially can turn into a great center back. No. We shouldn't sell him.
Bayashil is not 22.
He's 23.
Okay, well, he got a chance too.
So if we can
but let's not act like Bayashil has not done what Caldwell done. You talking rubbish.
He actually has.
Bayashil wasn't a part of the 9-game run.
His first season
he's 24. He's 24, by the way. He's 24.
Yeah, and that's number one. You're lowering his age. You're lowering his age to make the argument. You're lowering his age to make the argument. Number two, he did not show us nothing that Caldwell showed us.
You remember a terrible season with him and Thiago?
No, that was 2 fucking seasons ago. You're gonna pick 2 seasons.
He's shown it though.
No, he's fell off a cliff since then.
No, but that's but that's beside the argument. He is shown. No,
it's not beside the argument. He's shown it, and then he had time to show it again, and he's shown he couldn't get back there.
He's been ravaged with injuries. We've seen him. He's been injured.
So why are you comparing him to somebody that's been playing and showing it?
The point is, if you can say, even last season, the season before, you can say, you know what, Bayashil, I don't think will ever be a good center back. then you know
I didn't say that though.
No, but
I did.
Yo, you lot, on my back. It's not me. It's not me. My stream just bugged out. I don't know if I'm back. I don't know if I'm back. My stream just bugged out. I need to know. Can you not hear me? Because my whole thing is bugging out. I don't know what's going on right now. Yo, chat. I bugged out, yeah, and it's saying I'm on my own. And I was like, what's going on? The views are going up. These lot left. Let me send these lot the link. I need these lot to come. What is going on? What is going on? Oh my days. Chat, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where these lot are. I can't see them. They're not on my stream. They're not on my stream. So I don't know where the man them are at. But they ain't here, bro. Let me see if they can come back. Yo, chat. I can't. You know what's so funny, chat, yeah? On StreamYard, they're not even at the bottom of my screen. They're not even there. I didn't end the video. We're still live. Wait. Wait, where is everybody? YouTube has been bugging out. Nah, it's bugged out, man. Sorry, chat. We were just in the middle of a debate as well. Oh, my days. Good. Bring Jimmy on. Nah, leave it. Jerome, allow it. It was good content, man. I'm trying to get these lot back. Oh, my gosh. Let me see. Let me try and get them back, man, then. Let me try and get them back because for some reason, StreamYard is bugging out right now. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on what you think about the debate anyway, though. Because that was a mad debate. That was a mad debate. It says he's come back. Ches, end the stream and start again. What do you mean end it? I can't end it, bro. I can't end it because then it will end the whole thing. How do you end the stream and start? I'm not gonna do that. Let me just. I don't know what's going on here. Dr. Doom has caused this. Nah. Nah, my whole thing's bugging out. This is crazy. It was a good debate. I'm gonna try and start up again. Let's see what happens, innit? Let's see what happens. Right. Let me try and work this out, chat. Because what it literally just bugged out. Quality stream. My whole StreamYard just went. I had no control about anything. So that's mad. But yeah, man. Sorry about that, chat, man. The thing is, I can't even start this chat up again. That's the funniest thing. Right, let me just end this stream here and see what happens. And if he comes back, we come back. And we'll have a good debate. We'll get you lot back in here, yeah? Because that's crazy. That's crazy. They're all in void. Facts. They are in void. I can't even see them. I kid you not, I can't see them. They're not here. They're not here. They're not on my screen, chat. They're not on my screen. Yeah, they're not on my screen. Yeah, it's my side still. Restart this. Let me try and restart it, chat. My bad. We try and come back. I'll see you guys in a bit.